Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Okay, we got Gavin FENG back on the podcast. We just came back from seeing Gary Vaynerchuk in the National Achievers Congress 2019 at ASB Showgrounds.
Yeah.
Pretty lit day, right?
Yeah. Except everybody apart from Gary tries to sell you some bullshit program.
Yeah. No, I mean, like,
Okay. Not bullshit, but you know what I mean.
Grant Cardone, man.
Yeah.
Trying to 10x everything, you know what I mean? But I think it was a good day. I learned a lot, especially from Adam, who was just before.
Oh,
Gary.
fuck yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's
fuck
legit.
yeah, dude.
I told you he's good.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I told you.
But legit, I'm going to do what the fuck he's going to tell, like what he told us.
So, literally what he wanted to do, Adam, he said that, just pretty much selling everything on Amazon. They're trying to find a market where you could sell to Americans from the comfort of being in New Zealand or Australia and just sell to Americans overseas. Just pack it and then send it. That's pretty much what he was saying. And then you got wrecked.
Oh, fuck yeah.
By the Gary V bullet, which was good because everyone else was just like laughing at you and going, "Oh, about."
I like to say I took that as a man. You know what I mean?
You did.
Like I sucked the fucked up and I stuck there.
Gary looked at you and I was like, bro, he's like piercing right through his heart right now. Do you want to just explain what you asked?
Okay, fuck. I want to go about Adam's thing, but we can talk about that later.
No, we'll go back to it.
So basically, I kind of had an idea of the answer he was going to give me because, like, Miles and I'm fucking obsessed with Gary, man. Like, he's one of the dudes that I'm just constantly, like, my missus is like, you might as well sleep with this motherfucker.
If it's not him, it's Andrew Yang. It's Andrew Yang.
Or David Goggins.
Yeah, one of those guys.
So the question I asked them, you fucking put that on, like, her Instagram.
Yeah, no, but because it's true, because me and her, like, mock you about it.
Yeah. It is true. I get obsessed with these type of like people that inspire me. But anyway, I asked Gary this question. I was basically like for the past 2 years, I've been doing business with my dad. Long story short, we had a lot of shady deals and false promises given to us, and the cost of those, like the exact question I said to him was like, the result of those shady deals and false promises actually led to one of our businesses having to go into liquidation.
Right. So
I said to him as like, because of that, I fucking hate doing business. But I want to know, like... So then, right then and there, when I said that, he was like, well, maybe instead of hating business, you should think about what you and your dad have done wrong.
Yeah, and then take accountability. And then the whole crowd was like, ooh. Like
2,000 people.
Like 2,000 people just went, ooh. And Gavin was just standing there. And I was getting upset because I was in the crowd. Because I'm like, man, that question... And the way that Gary answered it was just straight up ruthless. But at the same time, it's good for you to learn in that type of way. And you said, like yourself, it's good to hear it from the horse's mouth while the horse is right in front of you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And people are like, you probably answered that question probably answered a lot of people's, questions that are in the crowd that didn't even have the opportunity to ask anything like that. And it was like, you have to take accountability for your dad and your shitty deals.
Yes.
And sometimes that just happens. That's what he just said. Sometimes he was just on the podium. He was just like, that happens.
Like
and then
he said it happened to him.
Yeah, and then he explained how it happened to him. And he was sympathizing with you. And then in his situation and then your situation, he made it clear to the crowd that your situations might be different. But... I think because you wanted to hear it. That's why you wanted to hear it. You knew the answer, but you wanted to hear it.
I wanted to hear it. I knew like he's probably going to say accountability. And it's like, in my head, I need to
because this guy loves Gary.
Yeah.
I think he loves him more than me. But I'm like the embodiment of Gary. Mini Gary.
Yeah.
I'm MRV. He Gary V. But we're not the same. We just have same ideologies about how we do business.
But like, but to actually paint the scenario, it was literally like I'm standing there, 2,000 people at the same time
on the
laughing,
and
on the mic,
laughing.
I'm standing there right in front of this man. He's like 3 meters away from me. I asked him this question straight up. He said, right to my face, "You guys did wrong." I told him like my actual question was like, "How do you change the mindset to be able to go into the Shark Tank and battle it out with these people, right?" And he was like, and basically the thing that I took away the most is like, it doesn't matter if there's like 4 sharks, 5 sharks, 10 sharks, or 18 sharks in the tank. in the end of the day, those things happen. You just have to take accountability for what goes right and what goes wrong. Because when you take accountability, everything becomes a lot easier. Life becomes a lot happier.
Yeah, and I think you finished off your question by saying, "Fuck, even if I lose or win, if it's all on me, I'm happy because I don't have to fucking blame anyone else. I'm not crying. I'm not crying because someone gave me. He didn't say this particular, but this is pretty much what he said. Was I'm not crying over someone else's mistake. I'm crying over my mistake, and I'm the only one that is accountable for it. And then that's I mean, so you guys can take that one home as well. You know what I'm saying? You take it home, I take it home. If you're not complaining about a situation that's out of your control, then you only can control what you can control. You know what I mean? So that was good for you. Yeah. And then he went on to a lot of good points. And I was explaining to you a year ago, you might not know, he wasn't really into Gary at the time, but the way he engages with people that ask questions is second to none. It's straight up. You got it firsthand. He looks you straight in the eye and he's like straight up honest. And it's not just with him, but with everyone who asked a question on that day. You know what? Did you feel that?
Yeah. The thing
it shows that like he cares about what you're saying. Yep. It's not just for him to get like he's trying to sell you something at the end.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Trying to sell shit.
He didn't sell shit. I don't think he needs to sell shit.
Yeah.
You know?
The thing I loved the most though was when I was engaging in that conversation with him, he would let it sit. Like he'll bring up he'll elaborate and he'll just go quiet and just kind of let it sit.
He just let it sit and then he'll build on some more.
Yeah, and he keeps building and building. I was like, fuck, that makes it a lot more personal.
Yeah. That's why I tried to get to you last year. But you gotta see it firsthand.
Dude, that energy though. That energy, holy
I thought his first 15 minutes was absolutely amazing. He was talking about, TikTok. He was talking about LinkedIn. He's like, you gotta fucking kill it on LinkedIn. That's like an untapped marketplace. And I think he just came out with just all guns firing, and I don't think anyone was expecting that because he didn't do that last year. He just went straight into Q&A. It was Q&A for 2 hours. He just this time around it was just like, boom, this is what I think about the social media market at the moment. This is what you should be doing. If you don't do it, you're slow. You're back in time. Let's go into Q&A now.
Excuse me. So, but what I was going to say about that energy of 2,000 people laughing at you, though, dang. Like it didn't feel good at the time. Like afterwards, I tried to I had to compose myself a little, but I was like, dang, that energy though, like shit. Yeah. Because I'm such a big fan of this fucking man, even though him and a lot of people say you shouldn't put other people on a pedestal or whatever. I'm still a fucking fan of this man, right? So just by talking to him alone, I was like, fuck, I'm so nervous right now. Fuck, I'm so nervous.
You looked when I saw you in the line, and you were coming up next. You were going red. Like I'll tell you how red you're going. You know when you get drunk. And you get Asian flush, that's how red you were getting. I was like,
fuck. I knew it. Like as I was on the stage, I was like doing breathing exercises to calm my ass down. I was like, okay.
No, but you did well.
Yes,
I mean, there was worse execution of questions out there. I think the guy before you made it much easier because his question was like, gaming, what?
Oh, right.
Like I didn't know what he was trying to get at, but.
I didn't even like I was trying really hard to not just be in my own head and still like listen to what he's saying to other people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What about Adam? So what do you think about Adam? Let's work our way backwards from our day.
So bro, fucking Adam was like, because
I told you he's good.
I didn't know much about him. I'm gonna go on his YouTube channel tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. But he's basically saying he's saying the same thing as what Gary was saying, like how to flip. Basically, like how to
arbitrage.
Somewhat. Like he was just saying how you can take something from Alibaba, essentially, right, and then sell it on Amazon. And the way you do it is through very simple business model building, finding a need, right, seeing what the demand for that need is, seeing what kind of how you can differentiate yourself with that need. And then the other things that I took away from it, I need to go back to my book, but the other things that went into it is about things that was basic, I feel like basic knowledge that you should have as entrepreneur. Like the book I would say for everybody, no matter if you're an entrepreneur or business owner, is fucking read Get Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read
Because
that
he brought him
motherfucker.
up too. What's his name again? Sorry, I forget.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So if you're building a business or you're doing some kind of entrepreneurship or you're working for yourself, read that fucking book, right? Because every single one of those dudes brought up a point that Robert wrote in that book. So he was saying it's like a lot of young entrepreneurs have this problem where they earn a little bit of cash and they just spend it. They just spend it. Nah, take that money, like reinvest.
And double down on it.
Double down. So he
He was saying compactor?
Compound.
Compounder. Yeah, that's the word.
So don't shoot the don't shoot the bunny or don't shoot the
Don't shoot the penguin.
Yeah, don't shoot the penguin. He was like, buy more penguins.
Yeah.
Because he was saying like...
Because he was using the example of a penguin at the time. So he was like, when the penguin makes you money, don't just spend all that money that you made selling the penguin on other dumb shit. Buy more penguins so you can make more money. So compound it. So if you sell 14 penguins, you made all this money. Don't just start spending on booze and buying a new car and shit. Buy more penguins from Alibaba, resell it in Amazon to the American market, and then that's how you make more money. And then over time, he was being real legit with this.
Like when you have 8
over
products.
2, 3, 4 years, when you've built multiple products and you've built a brand out of it, a name out of it, then you can sell your brand for 100,000 K if that's how much it's worth.
Yeah. So I think the average, from what I gather, the average time frame for someone to be seriously interested in purchasing your business is like 3 years. Like from the day you start, 3 years.
Yeah.
Because it's first year.
Is this your own personal knowledge?
Yeah.
That you've got? Okay.
That I've kind of gathered from like business brokers and also the trend.
Because you're trying to sell a business too.
Yeah, at the moment, which I'm trying to sell too. So it's like it's the first year, because essentially the first year you're a startup, you're building. Second year, as you're doing things properly, second year you're starting to make your money back.
Yeah.
Third year you're making profit as a business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the plan, so to say. So it's like normally 3 years, but
it's like by the book. This is how it should be going.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's life in business,
Yeah, doesn't really happen. But I would say for me, though, 3 years minimum.
Yeah.
If you're trying to sell a business, 3 years.
Now, Elena Cardone, because I looked at you at the time. I was like, oh, this is you and Zora, man. This is
Zora's my girlfriend, by the way. Yeah. So her thing is like like the Cardones are very smart people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because essentially what they did, like Grant, before Elena came on, so Grant Cardone and his wife, they spoke as well. If you don't know about them, you guys should search them up. They're really good.
He's the guy that says 10x everything. He's from the South. He's from Texas. Am I correct there? He's from the South. He's the guy that's on YouTube saying 10x your life, 10x your money, 10x everything.
Yeah.
So we heard him loud and clear just saying 10x, and he just stood everybody up. But the one that I was more interested was not actually Grant, was actually her, because I want to see how that power dynamic works as a power couple. Because for me, I think if you get two, like she said it herself, if you get two bulls pulling the right way, that's when crazy shit and amazing shit happens.
Yep.
That's essentially what she said.
Yep. So what I was gonna say, they're really freaking smart, is that Grant painted half of the picture, right, for us before she came on. Yeah. She painted the other half. So I was like, the way that they deliver their shit is fucking smart. You know what I mean? Because what she was talking about, she was kind of like, in this day and age, a lot of females especially, I feel like will get really not pissed off, but disagree with her points. Because her whole thing was talking about how before she was always a very go-getter kind of woman. I'm going to earn my own money.
I'm an independent woman.
Yeah, I'm not going to take no shit from no man. I'm not even going to let my man fucking like buy me a dinner or like any meal because I need to pay
that's
for
actually
that
what
shit.
she said.
And then she was saying, like, I'm not going to ever cook for my man because I feel like that's going to lower my own like status or whatever, you know, conforming to the norm, cooking for him. Like she was like, I ain't about that. But then she was like, when she met her husband, Grant, then she flipped. And the reason why she said it flipped is what you were saying before. Like she realized two bulls pulling a cart creates double the amount of force. So when I was listening to her this, I thought about my own relationship, because like we didn't talk about this last time, but me and my girlfriend have a very, at least I feel like we have a very solid, or we're building a very solid foundation where we're not arguing about like we still argue, but we don't disagree on a lot of bullshit that I feel like happens with a lot of other relationships or previous relationships that I've had, right?
Yeah.
So we're very much about how to grow each other. All good, bro. we're very much about like what can I like from my point of view is like what can I do for her to help her be a better person or help her reach her goals, right? And she does the same thing back. And then when we sit down and we see a lot of things, like for example, if we look at the news, you know, protests in Hong Kong and all these sort of things, we can bounce ideas off each other ASAP. You know what I mean? I say one thing, she understands. She say one thing, I understand. And it's a back and forth sharing idea, kind of like what me and you do or what me and the other boys do too.
Yeah.
But I just do that with her at home when we're naked and shit. No, I'm kidding. So,
hey man, you do your thing.
So that's why I'm saying is like I love her for that, or I love the relationship we have because of that. Because it's not about what I can take from her or what she can take from me. You know, we have no want to like take away any form of emotional support, money, or anything like that. And it's not about that. Purely the core of who we are as a couple is solely about how do we build ourselves together. You know what I mean? Like she says, like the way she puts it as like, babe, you know what I love the most about what we have? It's like you're Jay-Z, I'm Beyonce. And I go,
it's a bit of a stretch, but okay.
It's a bit of a stretch. My ass went back to her and I was like, babe, no, we're not gonna be Jay-Z and Beyonce. We're gonna be Obama and Michelle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's
nice.
like we're not trying to be opposites, but it's like, you know, that's the kind of thing
that's the idea that you're trying to go for.
Yeah. So it's so I feel like that's a very healthy way to go into a relationship, but like it's not like purely just that. What can we do together? You know what I mean? Like if we're in this, if I'm with you and you're with me, it's no longer you, it's no longer me, it's us.
Yeah.
So what can the two of us as a people, you know, like Grant and Elena, how to build their empire? Well, how do we build our empire?
Yeah.
What are you lacking that I have, or what am I lacking that you have?
Exactly,
So
and that's what she talked about a lot.
Yeah.
I think it was just like the thought of like thinking like as a mother or something like that.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
that type of dynamic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe when you're bringing up kids, it might help you in that space and also help you in business. Because if you got like one person that's going hyper aggressive and be manly about it, then another one that's being more sympathetic. Thinking about that in the business sense, if you can tailor that type of opportunity when you're working with someone and a client, you know that this client is a bit more sympathetic or a bit more like mellowed out. Don't take Grant there, just take Eleanor there, and then she can do the selling for you. And then you're versing someone else. He or she might be like hyper aggressive in the business market. He's like, yeah, just send in Grant. He can close this off because they can relate. Yeah, you know what I mean.
So I have a good example with me and Zora. So with Zora, she's a lot more emotionally in tuned. Like she's a lot more. She's a lot more
compared to you. Yeah, yeah.
She's a lot more emotionally stable, right? She's not so much like. She doesn't get crazy like me when I get pissed.
I'm laughing at this because I know you guys really well.
Yeah, so she doesn't. If she gets pissed off, she wouldn't blow up like fucking like Vesuvius like I do. But then on the flip side, she like I have a sense of ruthlessness that she doesn't have. Like that's the only way I can put it. Like in terms of I give no fucks. In terms of
now you don't give no fucks.
Yeah, now I give no fucks.
Now you don't.
Yeah, now I give no fucks.
That's a learned behavior.
It is actually.
It's a learned behavior, man.
So, like, when I mean by no fucks, the other day we went to a supermarket, right? And then something happened. We had a mini argument about this where, as we were paying, I had all the... We went out for a run. She didn't bring a wallet. I bought the wallet. She only bought a card. So, I was going to... Like, as I was about to pay for the groceries, I went out and I tried to find something else to like, purchase. And then it must have taken too long. And then, like, she was still at the cashier. She was waiting, like, the cashier was kind of looking at her, like, you know what's
happening?
Yeah, what's happening? And she felt awkward, and she just paid right away. As she paid, I came right back. And as we left the door, she was like, why the hell did you do that? It was so awkward, you know? Like, why didn't you go get it before? Yada, yada, yada. And I was trying to tell her, like, babe, it was just like 10 seconds. Like, I was just gone for like 10 seconds. Like, why didn't you just wait for me to, like, come back, you know? Like, doesn't fucking matter. It's just like, you know how awkward it was? Like, that cashier looking at me that way? I don't like her, like, looking at us like we're trying to, like, dodge payment or whatever. And I told her, I was like, who the fuck is this cashier to you in the end of the day? Because she was talking, she was talking some shit too. Like, as I came back, she was trying to make a joke saying is that, oh, he's one of those dudes that, like, fucks off when the bill comes at the dinner table, right? And yada, yada, yada. And she doesn't like hearing that. Zora doesn't like hearing like someone talking about us that way or about me that way, right?
Mm.
And I told her, yeah, she could have said that, but who the fuck is she in the end of the day?
And it goes back to what Gary was saying the whole night.
Yeah.
You know, there was people that ask the questions like, oh, what do you got when we try and do something, whether it's business or it's just anything. I think it was creatively as well. People will say shit. And then he was like, well, why do these people's opinions matter to you so much? Why do we put so much value on other people's opinions and not your own opinions?
Yeah. So
even like if this cashier was just like, you know, this guy is like, Zora knows you real well. You paid so many bills.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So
how does that, like, why does that affect us so much?
Yep. So I was
when she should have just, well, you know, I would have said this, you know, why didn't she just be like, you know, fuck you?
So I told her, I was like, babe, you still need to understand that apart from me and you, my parents, Muslim being whatever, apart from these people, I give no fucks about what everybody else thinks. Zero fucks. Who the fuck are they to me? Like I told her, this cashier, is she your auntie? Is she your grandmother? Is she your best mate? No, right? So why the fuck do you need to care if she makes things awkward? It doesn't fucking matter. Like today, 2,000 people were laughing at my ass. I don't fucking care. I had to compose myself because I felt that energy. But I'm sitting here now saying I don't give a fuck because they don't know my story.
They didn't. And even Gary made that clear as well. Like, you know, the situation may be different.
Yeah.
Because but it is a little behavior to be like, you know, fuck you. Gary said it. He's like, there's nothing better in life but saying fuck you. And he said, like, even if you have to say it to your dad sometimes, fuck you, because they're not in the same situation. They don't understand what's going on. They're speaking because what they know, or they're trying to bring you down. Yeah, and you know that's the thing, man. Like a lot of people, and I've been working with you, and I've been working with Henry, and I've been working with other people as well. And I've told Henry, who's also been in the podcast, first ever podcast, and I told him, like, you have to stop giving a fuck about what you think. What other people think. Yeah. But for him, it's different. The biggest problem is that what he thinks, what other people think.
So the biggest
critic is himself.
It's yourself.
It's
yes.
yourself.
So your mind is a big enemy. It's your biggest enemy. I told Zora that as well because she has that same problem.
And I think, was it Adam that said this or Grant? I'm not sure. I think it would have been Adam that said this in the start, like really start of his presentation. He said, if you're beating yourself up, you can't let the world beat you. Yeah. Because otherwise you're coming hit from both ways.
Yeah. So sorry, man. Just to like kind of wrap up the power couple conversation thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
So another good example of like what she has that I don't have is I had an argument with my mom, right? Like a massive argument. Like basically it was about business and that type of shit, and I was stressed and I just blew up. And then she blew up 10 times bigger at me and yada yada yada. And then Zora came to me and she was like, look, I understand you're really angry, but at the end of the day, why didn't you just learn to be the higher man? Or why didn't you just learn to be the bigger person? You know? Like, why do you have to like just get angry when these kind of things happen? You know, like to be honest, if you want to go into the police or if you want to do business or whatever, you have to learn to be emotionally stable and you have to know how to control your emotions. And I was like, fuck, that's so hard. I was like, fuck, that's so hard. But she said, it's like, look, you have to do it. Like, you want to know what a mature person is? Learn how to control your emotions. And Gary said the same thing. It's like, in today, during, I don't know if you picked up on that question that he answered to this other person. He was like, the biggest problem that a lot of people have is not understanding or not knowing how to be the bigger person. You know what I mean?
Oh, was he the one where he talked about he walked into a boardroom for 15 minutes and then he just walks out?
No, I can't remember the specifics, but I just heard him sit there and it just kind of resonated what I had to go through.
I don't remember was just the specific question.
Yeah, I think it was around something like people are just petty and can't let things go or let certain arguments or whatever go. And he was like, a lot of people just have that issue of not learning just to be like, I'm going to be the bigger person in the situation. You know what I mean? You do you, I'm going to do me. I'm not going to like bounce back this negative energy that you have.
Yeah. All right. I'm just going to take a minute break. Be back. All right, back on. So, Grant, first one that we walked into. I forget about the other Australian guy, but
he has some couple. I
he
forgot
was talking
his
about
name.
banking, right?
No, he was talking about finances, and what he was talking about actually made a lot of sense as well.
Yes, he did. Yeah, no, I don't know why I forgot about him. He took a lot of shit about mortgages, about pretty much like financial literacy. Because we were talking about this in the conference that maybe because he was charging for that service about $1,000.
Yeah, no, way more. Bro. Oh no,
Yeah, he was
grand,
charging $1,000. He was charging $1,000, right? And essentially, he was trying to pretty much like monetize like financial literacy to the people.
But you can find that information.
You can find that information online. And I was saying to Gavin, I was like, maybe people just don't really understand how the banking system works. Now, so pretty much how the banking system works is that they take your money. If you don't know this, now you know. They take your money, and they just redistribute it, and they put interest on it. That's essentially what happens. Yes. And they're pretty much selling digits to you because everything is now digital, and they're trying to almost eliminate cash to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So he was essentially saying, how does repayments work? We're being taught
like fixed interest rates versus the floating interest rate.
Floating interest rates, but essentially we've been taught to just pay the minimum and then allow it to, for example, on a car loan, on a house, on any type on personal like credit cards, just to pay the minimum and then you just keep going. But essentially, what happens when you just pay the minimum, you have to pay interest on it. So it might take you so and so many months or years to pay something off, and you're paying this big sum of money as interest, and that's what the bank gains from it.
Yep.
And you were explaining credit cards, right?
Oh, yes.
We should go into that. I think that was a good conversation that we brought up.
So just before that, though, remember my mate Jason? My mate Jason?
I remember Jason.
So Jason is my boy from back in the day.
I just
met him today.
I just met him today. You don't think I forgot him?
No, I was gonna do you remember what Jason? Like Jason, I was talking to Jason about this when you were gone. You want some water, by the way, bro?
I just had water. I don't know. Just go.
So as you were gone, when you went to the bathroom, I talked to Jason. I was like just talking to him about fixed and floating interest rates, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about how like fixed interest rates, for example, if I bought this home, and this home maybe cost me $900,000.
Yeah.
And I have like a $600,000 like mortgage on it or whatever. If I came across $10 million, I still can't pay all of that back in one go. You know what I mean? So if I won the lottery tomorrow, I got a $600,000 mortgage under a fixed interest rate system.
Yeah.
You can't just pay back that 600 in one go. The bank sets a limit as to how much you can pay back every year.
Yeah.
So literally it's like it's another way of they're earning more and more money off you. Even if you have that money to pay it back in one go, fixed interest rates means that we're not going to let you do that.
Yeah, exactly. It essentially is saying this. I'll put it this really simple. It's like you borrow money from me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you borrow $2,000.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Okay, at the end of each month, we're gonna put an extra $200 on top of that $2,000. All right. So after the first month, it'll be $2,200. Okay. You want to pay me back $2,000 at the end of the month? I'm like, no. You pay me back $1,000.
That way they get more money.
And then by the time the end of the month comes around, the $200 is occurred. And then that keeps happening. This is a small amount, so he can pay in 3 months. But we're talking about big sums now, $600,000.
That's probably how much people have on their homes.
On their houses. And this is the financial literacy that I forget this guy's name, man.
Well, we'll get the book and then we'll search it back up. I don't have the
book here, but essentially he was trying to teach him. I'll plug him in.
Yeah.
I'll put it into
the name.
I'll put the name here. Yeah, I'll put the name here. So he was trying to teach, and then he was talking about credit cards. And
so he was then talking about floatings, man.
Oh no, he was talking about floating.
Yeah.
Was I still on tour at this time?
You might have been. So I thought you in. So he was saying, under a floating system, a lot of people may think if it's floating, there's no security. Things aren't constant. It's a lot scarier.
Okay, I might have missed this.
Yeah, but however, when he was breaking down the math, it was like under a floating system, you can literally pay more back. So under a fixed system, you might only be paid back on your principal, maybe only $8,000, right, a year.
Oh no, okay, I remember what you're talking about. Yep.
And then under floating, it's like if you had that ability, you can pay back 44,000. And then he was like, how many people want to pay back 44,000? They were like, yeah, we want to pay back 44,000 a year.
Yeah.
So that's how he was breaking down float and fixed. So then when you went to the bathroom, I said to Jason, I was like, bro, I am never buying a house unless I can pay it back in one go. I can pay for it in one go, or I have the ability, I have the financial capabilities to pay it under a floating system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my question for you is, how do you feel about that? Like, for me, is like, me and Zora had this conversation. We are not buying a home until we can either pay it back in one go, or we have the financial capability to do it under a floating system.
I agree with what you're saying. I've always wanted to buy a house just outright. Yeah. I don't think I'll buy a house in Auckland though. I don't think it's unless MRV becomes so big that I can do that.
Oh, that could be a goal.
Man, I'm working on it, man. Shit. And no, but I'm saying like that's totally true, because I've known this for a long time. Is that, you know, whatever debt you create towards the bank, they don't want you to be paying it. Like, for example, if I get my minimum payback on my credit card, no matter if it's $1,000 or $2,000, okay, minimum repayment's $10 for the month.
Yeah, okay.
You fucking shitting me, mom? My mom always told me, don't ever pay back the minimum.
Unless you're really struggling.
Yeah, if you're really, if she said if you're really struggling, don't use the credit card.
Okay.
She said, because I gave you the reasons why I use the credit card.
Oh yeah, this is something that I learned today. I didn't know this. So
she was just like, oh, just pay back straight away, and then you don't incur the interest. And I was like, yeah, sweet, yeah, I've done it, and I've been doing that since I was 16 years old. Right? I never use the amount that I can't pay within the month. Like, if I think I can't pay $2,000, I just won't buy the shit.
Yep.
But I was explaining to Gavin, because you don't have a credit card, right?
No.
So I was explaining to him, there's situations where you need it. For example, if I want to buy something now, right, and I don't have the money in my account to actually buy outright, but I know that maybe someone owes me on an invoice, I'm going to get paid later, but I need to buy the stuff now. For example, this gear that you see in front of us, the camera that's being shot, I need to buy this now. So I buy it, and then I know later in the month I'll get paid, and then I just put it back into the credit card.
Yeah.
Other situations.
So my reasoning for like never owning a credit card was, I was like, man, I don't see the need for a credit card, and that's like, that was your response to my question, because I was like, I'll just spend my debit, whatever I have, I'll spend that. And
also the other reason was the security. If I use my credit card, and when I've done traveling overseas, and even within New Zealand, if I use my credit card, right, and the credit card gets hacked, that's Visa's problem. That's not my problem. If my debit card gets hacked, then that's my problem. The bank won't give you your money back. You don't get covered by interest. What's it? Insurance. You don't get covered. You're hacked. The money's gone. But if Visa gets hacked, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
And actually, they owe you money.
Oh, so they got to pay you back.
They have to refund the money back into the credit card so they can allow you.
To use it they again. Got insurance.
And but that's their thing. That's why I do my big transactions, and I only work with cash and my credit card overseas. Because if I do get hacked for some reason while I'm overseas,
someone
it's
like
Visa's problem, not mine.
I get you. And during this conversation as well, Jason was giving his reason to why he has a credit card. So he's had a credit card since he was 16, right?
Same as me.
So how he broke it down was, now that I think about it, this man is applying like the rich dad mindset, where you're making your money work for you. So he's same thing. If he doesn't have his limit is like, he said like 10K or something like that, right? He was like, if he doesn't have 10K, because the reason why he has 10K is that he wants to earn those air miles.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a 10K limit on your credit card, you can start earning the air miles, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, if he doesn't have 10K, that he knows he has 10K in his bank account, he's not going to use that credit card.
Yeah.
And he has enough self-control to use however much
he said it quite a
back.
lot in that conversation. He's like, I have the self-control to not go overboard with it, which is something that people do need. Like the credit card is a privilege to use. Right, and the bank knows exactly what they're doing. And I was telling you the situation when I go to my bank Go straight into that tell her if I need to do anything with it. They're like, just, hey man, why don't you put it up to 5K on your credit card? I'm like,
why?
no. I remember one time they said, oh, yo, why don't you put it to 10K? Are you fucking kidding me? 10K, I can't pay that shit. I was like, I don't even give myself the option to put 10K on my credit card. That's it. Like, I put it to an amount that I know that I can pay, even if I maxed it out. That I know 100% that I can pay within the month.
So Jason has that same mindset. It's just the reason why he put his limit so high was he traveled to Australia. He traveled to Australia twice for free. Him and his missus.
Yeah, just on the AirPoints thing. Yeah.
Just on the AirPoints on credit card. I was like, fuck, bro. Like that is some like rich dad mindset. Make your money work for you. He got 2 free trips out of that shit.
Yeah, that's how the credit card can work for you. So, yeah, that's essentially what that guy was saying. Was that financial literacy, which is super important, and it seemed like a lot of people didn't really get to know it until that guy started spitting it. You know what I mean? And like I remember the conversation, like the guy literally just said, "Who here pays minimum on a repayment?" And then everyone's like puts their hand up. I'm like, and then you looked at me. I was like, maybe we're just thinking that differently. I was like, maybe we're just thinking differently about this shit.
No, because like the other thing I was talking about, I was like, why would anyone pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for what these people are trying to sell? I'm like, honestly, like realistically speaking, yeah, they got some brilliant points, and they're very charismatic people, and they're brilliant at what they do. But the shit they're trying to sell on you, I'm like, bro, if you
can literally go onto the internet and find it,
or if you're like, you know, thinking about it long enough, you can also figure it out through experience, or through research alone too, right? So then I was like, why would you pay $4,000 for like 2 hours of this man's time? I'm like, come on. Like in Grant Cardone's.
Oh yeah, Grant Cardone did $2,000. He did 3,000 and 5,000.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's 29997. Yeah, it's $3,000. Yeah. So yeah, going to Mr. Grant, Mr. 10X King, Mr. Chicken Legs.
There were so many people that like bought his shit, by the way.
Yeah,
so
man.
many people.
It was like he was like this. Man, I'm gonna send you get a flight into Sydney. The first 30 people that sign up gets a free flight to Sydney. You can work with a 2-day thing with me for like $3,000 or $5,000.
But you see what he said before. When we were first into the room, he was like, "You sign up, I'm gonna pay for your flight." And then afterwards, I'll subsidize $500.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fucking salesman."
Yeah. So he twisted it a bit. And I got that completely, but people bought it. You know, that's people bought it. I saw all those suits walk up and be like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna put $5,000, $3,000 on this motherfucker." But that's how he works. Yeah, and don't disrespect the man for working the game.
He knows the game. It's just that, like, I'm gonna say some truth. The things that this man was spitting, and the things that a lot of these people are spitting, it's not like revelations that they discover themselves.
Yeah.
It's not like some truth that like only they themselves know. Both Grant and that Australian financial dude and Adam in a way.
Yeah, definitely.
I instantly I was like, that whole thing was sourced from Rich Dad Poor Dad. The core things that they were trying to, like the message they were trying to put, you can buy a book on fucking Amazon for $10.
So I'll pose you this question, because you seem pretty into it.
Yeah. So
what makes these people walk up and drop $5,000 on Grant, to drop $1,000 on the Australian dude, to drop $3,000 on Adam?
So Grant answered this question himself. 2 things: marketing, sales.
Dive into it.
So the biggest thing is, like, now that I'm getting more and more into entrepreneurship and business, I realize that marketing, like Grant says, trumps sales. So if you market your shit well, for example, Instagram, right? If you understand your audience, understands the triggers that happen in people's heads, know what are the things that make them double tap on that photo or make them go onto your page and look even further, then that's marketing. A hot chick with a fucking big ass booty and a specific, like, you know, pose, that's marketing.
Yeah.
So because she understands that diving into that mental